Hey everyone, this is Kingslayer here, back with another video. So we are at the halfway through point of the season. Things are starting to get really spicy. It's starting to heat up. We got a little bit of new material I'm going to show you guys in just a few minutes. But first, let's jump into our meta-analysis for rounds 6 through 10. So currently where I am at the moment, it is late in the evening on Wednesday. In some places it is already Thursday. By the time this will be uploaded, it might even be midnight here or early Thursday morning. So there are a few round 10 matchups that have not been played, but I went ahead and took the analysis of those that have alongside of the 4 days before this one. And we only have a few matches that haven't been played yet, so the margin of error is going to be pretty small here, especially because there are 5 days comprised here. So this is what we're looking at now for rounds 6 through say 9 3/4. Jokes. And as we can see, we can tell from the first basically week and a half of the season now, Nova Grappler is still just running rampant. First couple days we were at 30% played, and it has stayed around that point all season. So we had a comment made by one of our players in the Discord server just a couple hours ago about saying that he feels like he's in the Nova Grappler matchup all the time, and these statistics just prove him right. Like, Nova Grappler is just running rampant. And the other Q4 clans, we're seeing, a little bit of bouncing back and forth. OTT has taken over the third place spot over Royal Paladin for games played now. Last video, I talked about Tsukuyomi and Imperial Daughter actually making a comeback and taking the second place spot for the games won. And I think that's starting to reflect now in these last 5 days as more people are jumping off Royal Paladin and are jumping onto OTT now. And as we see, Nova Grappler is still staying the same. Kagura we've seen grown a little bit as well. So it seems like Royal Paladin is now I don't want to say weaker, but it has the least numbers now of the Q4 clans. And we are seeing a splash of a lot of the other clans. These past 5 days, we actually have seen all 10 clans that are in the game represented, including Spike Brothers now. We officially have a couple of people jumping on and trying to play Spike Brothers. It is doing decent at the moment, but obviously not nearly as good as any of the Q4 clans. And I'll get into games one in just a second. I would like to point out again, Kagura has grown a lot, and he's like 2% doesn't look like a lot, but for 5 days that is. That's showing that that's consistently growing. So we're gonna keep watching that as we're at the halfway point of the season to see, is that what people are gonna try and start playing to counter the Nova matchup? I've seen several Nova Grappler versus Kagura matchups, and I'd say that they're pretty even, like, against each other. They both have pretty decent win rates over each other. At the beginning of the season, we saw a 40% win rate for Nova Grappler. That is huge, all right? You're looking at almost half of the wins being by Nova Grappler. Then it shrunk a little bit, and we saw OTT take over the second place spot from Royal Paladin and Kagura. So now moving on to these last 5 days. Now you have to take into consideration this last chart here comprises the same amount of rounds as both of the other charts combined, because the first two were rounds 1 and 2, then 3 through 5. This is 6 through 10. So this is the same number of games as the last two charts combined. And we are seeing that Kagura, as I showed, had a really large play rate. It has jumped back into the second place spot for win rates, sitting at around 25%. And if you notice, the number of Nova Grappler wins is consistently shrinking now. Kagura looks to be the big clan that people are using as the quote unquote anti Nova Grappler clan. Whether this stays consistent or not, we're going to watch. But this is how things are starting to look at the halfway point in the season. After the second half of the season is over, we're going to move on to the playoffs, and we're going to see how many of these Nova Grappler players are in the playoffs, how well they are doing in the playoffs, and the new thing we may be watching is how well they're doing against these Kagero players. Notably, OTT is still sitting at around the same percentage. They've dropped from about 23 to 22%, which isn't huge, but it is a decent difference, especially considering we saw Kagero jump like it did. Royal Paladin, on the other hand, has shrunk in win rate as well. Again, showing it may be the weakest of the Q4 clans in the tournament at the moment, and we're going to watch to see if it continues to shrink. If it grows back, we'll see. I should also note that Bermuda Triangle has finally picked up its first win of the tournament. We had people jump back on it, and we've actually seen it win now. Spike Brothers have picked up a couple wins as well, alongside of Darker Regs, which is kind of sitting right now at the strongest non-Q4 clan, according to this tournament. So we're going to continue to watch and see how that goes, and see if Darker Regs continue to hold on to the 5th place spot. And that's pretty much it for the meta-analysis. Now we're going to jump into what we haven't been able to look at very much before, and that is the division leaders and things of that sort, so that we're going to see exactly our first idea of what the playoffs could look like. So, excuse my very drained battery at the moment. Been kind of grinding a little bit on zero while I was at work. So right now we have played most of the first 10 rounds. And with that said, we have a more precise look at who each of the division leaders are, how close the race is within each division. Now, the way the playoffs are going to work, I mentioned in the first video, we have 11 different divisions. Everyone who wins their division automatically takes a spot in the playoffs. So that is 11 slots specifically dedicated to division winners. Now, 11 is a really uneven number on a bracket for anyone who's played in a bracket tournament before. So we have what a lot of other leagues and sports leagues and things like that have, and that's what's called wild card slots. And in order to round it up to a nice even 16, we have 5 wild card slots that will go to the 5 competitors who do the best out of those that don't win their division. So I'll get into that in just a couple more minutes. I want to go into exactly who the division leaders are and who to watch out for at the moment. So please forgive me if I mispronounce anyone's names. If any of you are watching this video and you're like, hey, that's not how you pronounce my name, just shoot me a PM, let me know. But I'm going to do my best to pronounce these right. So in the West divisions, we have 2 West divisions. Right now we're seeing Zenith in the lead. And then you have a 3-way tie for second place. So with a 3-game lead, Zenith is in a pretty comfortable position because there are only 10 games left. So that does mean that it's anyone's game, but that is how it's looking there. Zenith is in a more comfortable position than the other 4 competitors in that division. In the other Western Division, West B, we have Rhydon in the lead at a 7-3 record. However, Darkcaster is technically 0 games behind at the moment, sitting at 5-3. So he has a game today and another one that he had to make up for yesterday. So if he wins both of them, there's a tie for first place. So those 2 competitors right there are going to be something you really want to watch. Also, I would definitely keep an eye on Dolphin, sitting only 1 game behind. That's really easy to make up. So those are your top three in that division. And that one's a little bit closer of a division than West A is right now. In the Central Division, we have Spida sitting in a pretty comfortable position. In the last video, I mentioned that Spida was undefeated. So he has taken his first loss. However, still in a 3-game lead. So that's pretty comfortable. Other honorable mentions in that division, I would say Godly Kent. I would also definitely keep an eye on Lord Rylak here. He started off in kind of a slump, but he has been winning several games recently. I would also check him out on YouTube. He has his own channel. He does a lot of different videos to help out a lot of the newer players, especially if you're free to play. Like, he gives you tons of really good advice. I've watched several of his videos, and he does give us a shout out. So this is kind of a little return shout out for him. But definitely keep an eye on him because, again, he started off in a slump, but he is starting to make a comeback. And with that said, I'm going to jump onto the next division. So that was the Central Division. So we have 3 different Eastern divisions just because we have that many competitors from the Eastern United States. First, we have East A. We have Xanadu in the lead right now. So right now, Xanadu and Matthew 419 are basically tied at 2 losses each. If Matthew wins his game today, they are tied for first. However, at the moment, they've only played 1 game against each other, and Xanadu did win that. So at the moment, he is sitting in the first place spot. Novashine was in the lead and has slipped up a little bit recently, so I would still keep an eye on that competitor. Also, Pat Bootyham, sitting at 2 games behind the division leader, has good days and bad days. So watch both of them as they could come from behind as well. In East B, this division in general has just been a really rocky slope. It's been crazy. I've seen almost every single competitor in this division take the lead at some point or another. Right now in the lead is Gold. However, like a day or two ago, it was White Tiger. And now, as you can see, he's actually in last place in the division. So all 5 competitors in this division are right there on each other. Every time 2 of them play a game against each other, it just completely throws the standings for a loop. So this division here, you just want to keep an eye on everyone. It's a really close. I love watching divisions like this play because they're so intense every single game. And this one's going to come down to the wire. I feel it. It's going to come down to like the last day or two. And I'm really excited to see who wins this division and if any of them make the playoffs due to a wild card. Next we have East C. This division here has been a really close matchup between Exotic and Shuji here. They have already played their second head-to-head, and Exotic has won both. Both of Shuji's losses right now are to Exotic. Exotic is our current April champion, so he's looking to make a return to the playoffs and see if he can win back-to-back seasons. Currently, he is sitting in the lead in his division, and because he has won 2 head-to-heads against Shuji now, should they tie at the end of the season like they are right now, Exotic will take that tiebreaker. However, that doesn't go to say that Shuji won't take a wild card, because I do know from looking at all the stuff, Shuji is definitely in a really good position to either take the division or take a wild card. So both of those competitors definitely want to keep your eye on, definitely want to watch them. I see both of them making the playoffs right now, as long as neither of them get into a slump. In Europe, it's honestly right now, you have 2 competitors doing really well. Both of them definitely playoff contenders, and the other 3 not having the best of luck right now. So we will see how they continue to do. With 10 games left in the season, it's still anyone's ball game. But right now, Ziva and Nick are definitely the 2 you want to continue to watch, as they have both had really great first halves of the season. Over in Asia, Division A, we have our only undefeated left in Arcra, still sitting at 10-0. That's very impressive. Um, Last video I did, we had 3 undefeateds left. This is the last one left. So we're really interested in seeing, does Arca take the whole season 20-0, or will he finally lose a game? And even if Arca does lose a game, he's sitting with a 3-game lead. So he's in a very comfortable position to take the playoffs. And if the season were to end right now, he would be seed 1 because he's undefeated. So definitely keep an eye on Arca. In Asia Division B, we have Dragfall in the lead with a 3-game lead as well. However, our second place competitor in this division is doing really well with a lot of their games. So you're going to want to watch both of those competitors. And even in third place, Alex is kind of back and forth. So potential wildcard contender right there. In Asia Division C, I have been watching this one pretty closely as well because Arzir, I want to say, and Almads are very back and forth, just head to head, nonstop. Like these two are on each other all the time. They have been tied for the lead almost this whole season. So right now they're sitting at 8-2. They've had one head to head that Arzir won. So they still have 2 more head to heads. But these two right here, I see both of them making the playoffs right now. Very, very good records, very good standings. Like they're both keeping each other on their toes. It's really fun to watch. And in Asia Division D, we're actually having several competitors that are kind of on a slump. But right now we have GX9 in the lead, sitting at 6-4. So GX9 is the main one you're going to want to watch in this division to see if they continue to hold the lead. But this is definitely a really good league right now. Like this has been very fun to admin and moderate so far. So this is again, this is the first season that we've gone public, and I've had a lot of fun with it. With that said, I added on an extra tab. So now that we've reached the halfway point in the season and things are starting to get a little more spaced out, we're not seeing a whole bunch of, oh, we have a bunch of X1s, we have a bunch of X2s. Now it's a lot more distant. And I can actually measure things a little bit easier for the wildcard chase. So this tab right here, I advise all of the competitors to keep an eye on this as much as possible. Now, if you are in first place in your division, you are not on this list because first place in each division automatically gets into the playoffs. They don't need the wild card. However, those of you who are not in first place, you're going to want to keep a very close eye on this because only 5 of you are going to make the playoffs. And right now, I have the top 5 spots highlighted in green. If the season were to end right now, these 5 competitors would make the playoffs off the wild card. However, we have 10 games left. So it's still anybody's game. As you can see, this is the wins, then losses, then games behind. So the games behind is going to be measured based off how many games behind 5th place you are, not first. And the reason being is because you only have to take 5th place in the wildcard chase to make it to the playoffs. So right now we're seeing Almads, Shuji, Matthew 419, Nick, and the Forgotten Nick sitting in the wildcard spots. Do note, Darkcaster here also is X3. So what that actually means is Darkcaster is tied with Nick and the Forgotten Nick for their wildcard spots, and it would come down to tiebreakers, which is measured off the opponent's wins-loss ratio. So Darkcaster might actually be one of the wildcards. But because the season's not ending right now, I'm not counting win-loss ratios because that's a hassle to do every single day. So it will be counted at the end of the season. These are prediction estimates. If the season were to end right now, however, all Mads, Shuji, and Matthew 419 would all make it because they are the only 3 X2s who haven't won their division. So keep an eye on this page right here. This is going to get really fun to watch, especially during the last few days of this season. I'm going to mark out certain ones in red as they fall out of the chase. But as of right now, technically anyone could take it. With 10 games left and the lowest competitors at 7 games behind, anybody can get it. Like I said, I will mark when it's completely impossible for someone to win it. But definitely keep an eye on this. This is almost like a ranking system. So you're going to want to watch yourself on this, see how you move up and down the wild card chase, because you want to land in that green at the end of the season. That is how you're going to make the playoffs. See, these are seeds 12 through 16. These are the final spots in the playoffs. So definitely keep an eye on this. And as stated here, it is right now evening time on Wednesday, May 13th. Tomorrow is the last day for the Spike Brother Challenge period. So, with that said, if you are a Spike Brother lover like me, you're going to want to keep grinding on this. I know it's hard to pull those triple rares, but keep grinding. I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying to get my stuff. But I did say I was going to bust packs on these videos because I have better luck here. Alright, so keep grinding. If you've got the gems, it's double VP time right now. You can go use them on your character fights. Go get more Spike Brother tickets and use those to get those last few cards you need. Because this clan is what kept me in Vanguard years ago. I love it. So, without further ado, you see those 1,000 neckties. You know what that means. I'm about to bust 10 packs. Wish me luck. Here we go. Oh my god, it's blue. Oh, okay, I think my luck ran out, guys. Oh my god. Well, let's just go ahead and get them out of the way. I can't believe it stayed blue for 10 packs. I opened like 5 yesterday and I went gold. I know I cheated. I told you guys I'd open more on stream. That's actually probably the worst luck I've ever had to pack for. Let's see if I can actually get something. I did pull like 3 Marylands yesterday. That I didn't really need. I really only need my pistol rares, and I highly doubt I'm getting any if it's stayed blue. But anyway, this video wasn't for pack openings. It was to explain the wild card and things like that. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm going to keep trying to update content. I'm going to keep trying to do these meta-analysis video blogs to keep you guys in touch with the wild card chase, in touch with the division leaders. And as you can see, that all turned into crafting material. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to post the Discord link down in the description like I always do. Same for the Facebook one. And if you guys need to watch anyone who gives you really good advice on Vanguard Zero, whether it comes to getting free packs, getting free gems, all that other stuff, check out Lord Rylek's page because he's pretty on point with his stuff. I've been watching his material. I've been taking some of his advice myself. He's really good. He's really good, and I'm not just saying that because he's in our league. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.